to the two things that I would like to talk about today. And one thing I also wrote about in the invitation for this life, and that is that we have often when we have physical or mental health problems, we feel guilty or ashamed about something. Like the examples that I used in the invitation where I didn't brush my teeth, so no wonder I have cavities. I didn't exercise, eat healthy, etc., so no wonder I am sick. Or we have fears that we think because we don't know something, or that we think because we don't do something in the way that somebody told us we should be doing them, that's what's making us sick. The core of all of that, in my opinion, is insecurity. And so I am here, and it is my joy and pleasure and hope to help people find more security. And this is why I'm offering the work with the Wheel of Colors, because when you have your soul reading and when you know the colors that you need in certain areas, for example, to balance your life, then you do not have uncertainty anymore. And then you know exactly what you need to do to get out of the uncertainty and into taking the steps that you need to take in order to feel well. And these are different for everyone because we each have a different color for balancing our life and healing. And only when we know that, then we can work with that. Often we hear somebody saying like, I did this and this worked so well, and then we try it and it just doesn't work. And that is why, because we each need something else in all 13 essential areas of our lives. Once we know that, we can consciously work with that, and then we can move on happily ever after. Like a few years ago, I wasn't even able to say my name out loud in front of a group. I'm still nervous, but practice makes you better. And without the Wheel of Colors, I would never be here today, because I still would not have trusted myself to actually be able to heal myself from epilepsy, to stop medication for epilepsy, and to teach and share the things that I know with others. So it's an incredibly powerful tool that has already changed the lives, that positively influenced the lives of many that I've worked with. And so I really invite you to try that out, to get your full soul reading from me, or to take the free mini course to discover your colors, so we can work with that together in the future. And if you are currently dealing with a health problem or with another, I don't know, anything in your life really that you want to be different, I would really like to invite you for homework, whether you're watching this live or later. I'll make a thread in the group where you can share what comes up for you if you feel like it. But if you have something that is bothering you, and this can be a difficult question, so only do that if you feel comfortable. If you think that you need a friend or a partner or somebody near you when you do this, ask them, ask for help. Don't be shy to ask for help. You can also maybe ask in the group if you want a partner for that, to do that together with somebody else. But really, to take a moment to listen to yourself and to ask yourself why you think that it is okay that you suffer. And it can be a difficult question. And if you say that you're not ready to go there right now, that is absolutely fine as well. You can come back to it whenever you feel ready. But theoretically, and I say that because I am not free from suffering, theoretically, none of us would have to suffer. But we have to do the inner work in order to get to that point of love, level of love, and the forgiveness, to not judge ourselves, to not shame ourselves for things we did or didn't do. So this is an invitation, and I want to make this invitation even more inviting, maybe, by offering a free 1-hour coaching card reading session to one person like I said, I will make a post in the group where you can share what comes up for you, that something came up for you just a little bit. It doesn't have to be the whole thing if you don't want to share that with other people. But for everyone who participates in this and who really like takes the time to sit down to find that kind of clarity for themselves, like I want to offer to one person, which I will draw, I will not pick, to get a free reading as a reward. So that is that. If you have any questions around that, I'd be happy to hear them. The other thing I wanted to talk about is how we talk about ourselves and our healing process. Where do I post for that? I'll make a post tomorrow or tonight, but I'll make a post about it and then you can share in the comments. But I'll post about it in the group and then you can share about your experiences and take part and win a coaching session with me in the group. The other day I ran into an old friend who was telling me about their health problems, because that's what people do. People pick up on energy, whether they know it or not. And they were telling me how it's gonna take weeks for them to heal. And I was like, I immediately jumped in and said, don't say that. Don't say that. Say it's gonna be better tomorrow. Because I know about the power of words. That person just looked at me really confused and said, no, it's gonna take weeks and I have to be okay with that. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, we're having two different conversations here. You have to go at your own pace, that's fine. But as we're here in this context, it is so important that we don't hex ourselves by making these kinds of assumptions, because our words carry, and our thoughts carry so much power. And we do have the power to transform these things, even if it is difficult. But I opened this group to make it less difficult, so that whenever something comes up that feels difficult, and maybe you go see a doctor, you go talk to other people, you go see a healer, and you hear certain things, and you're not sure, your heart tells you something else, and you want somebody or a place to talk about these things so that you don't have to go through them and make decisions on your own, because that can be really tough. But we can like help each other with these things. Hi Sonia, happy you're here as well. So language, what do we say about ourselves? I'm gonna be healthy tomorrow, I'm gonna be healthy today, I am already healthy, I am in perfect health, I am healing, I'm getting better and better every single day. We don't say it's gonna be weeks or months, I don't know. I mean, you can say that if that's your plan, if that's what you want, if that's what feels best for you, but like to really be aware of what you are saying to yourself. And I'm gonna share something that came up for me, because the universe is ever so gracious. I have been healing so many things myself. My epilepsy, a rash, frozen shoulder, I'm healing this half of my body currently, because there have been some blockages. And the thing that I struggled with to believe was teeth. Like, I really struggled to believe I could heal my teeth and cavities. But as I was lucky enough, I got an incredible bad toothache a week or so ago. And I was like, damn it. You know, because then you have this you have this option to go to the doctor and get it fixed. But I was like, what kind of teacher do I want to be? Do I want to tell other people this is possible? Or do I want to make it possible myself? And so I was like, damn, I have to make it possible myself. And, you know, when you have bad pain, it is very difficult to think clearly. And it is very difficult to believe that you can actually heal it or stop it. So I asked myself, what do I need to believe that I can actually heal my teeth. My color for balance is clarity, is crystal. It's the color crystal, which is the color for clarity. So I always need transparency, clarity in order to be able to do something. So I needed to understand how teeth work and why they can heal. And because I have a good connection with the universe, I don't have to do anything about that. I could just set my intention and say, universe, I want to know what I can do. And it immediately made somebody, a dentist, appear on my social media feed who explained to me exactly why and how we can heal our teeth, what the thing is that people learn in dentistry school, and how that is actually not true, and every part of your tooth can actually heal. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I sat down and I literally said, thank you for sending me this pain and this opportunity to heal myself. I know that if you sent me this pain, you can also make it go away. And there it went. It was gone. So, this is the power that we have. If we believe, and we each have a different way to come to that belief and to get to that belief and to trusting ourselves, our connection with God, we have to practice. Again, this is why I'm offering the soul reading, so you can understand yourself. And this is why I created the Creatrix School, so that you can practice trusting yourself, trusting the universe, and getting clear on what you want so that you can actually have it. And the more you do that, the easier these things become, and the more miraculous your life becomes as well. And yeah, so I think now I have perfect teeth for the rest of my life and perfect gums, and all of this can happen with our belief. I also want to say very, very clearly that I am not a medical practitioner and that I don't give health advice. I share my own experience so that you, as a responsible human being, can try this out for yourself. It doesn't cost anything, most likely will not harm you, and doesn't have any side effects, so you can simply see if that works for you. I don't want you to take me by my word. I want you to take you by your practice, to see what works, to ask questions when you're stuck somewhere, and to really integrate this into your life in any way that you can and want to. And whenever you feel insecure, you seek a practitioner, any kind, medical healing practitioner, to help you, because it does not work without trusting yourself. It does not work without wanting to do it by yourself. So you have to always decide what is your best way, and that because that is the only way for you. So with that, I'm happy to answer your questions. I also have a few questions, or quite a lot of questions here that I can answer, but if any of you who is live, hello. Hi, Anne from California. I'm glad you're here as well. Thank you for being here. So yeah, if you have any questions that you want to ask right now, I'm all yours. Otherwise, I'm going to start with a more simple one that I had already answered in the chat about why I did not get diagnosed for my AuDHD. Is that how you say that out loud? Autism and ADHD. Because I think a lot of people argue about that. I don't think there's a way to, there's a need to argue about that. I think every person can decide that for themselves. Personally, I would not want to give anybody else the right to define me but me. Like the stories I've read about people going to doctors who say they're autistic or not autistic based on weird criteria, that's just not something that I think would in any way be useful for me. I understand that a lot of people who need support from the state, especially for their children or for themselves, either way, need a diagnosis in order to get the help and support that they need, and for them it's very important. And that is why it's very important to get professionals trained to actually work for the people and not against them. But for me personally, I just don't see any benefit in me getting a diagnosis. If you don't believe me that I have ADHD, that's absolutely fine. I don't care. But for me, the most important thing is to know who I am and to have a language in which I can communicate with other people about how I see and perceive the world. And that is really all I need and want. And also, as we were talking about how important language is, if I would never want my autism, especially, but or also my ADHD, to be called a disability. I would not ever sign a paper where I would have to call that a disability. This is me. I am this way. I am perfectly created by God, by source energy. I would never, ever call myself this anything. I am perfect. I am in perfect health. I might be different, but my difference is great. And nothing else I will ever let come from me. Other people might see me differently, and that is fine. But I will not. I will not. So this is my personal take on this. So thank you for, it can be scary. Exactly, it can be scary. You are your own doctor is the ultimate reflection. Yeah, and I mean, like the idea of a doctor even, it's like, you know, when a woman gets pregnant, she creates a child, a perfect child. No matter how the child turns out or comes out or whatever. And that child, you grow into a full human being. Like your bones grow, your skin grows, your nerves develop, your language develops for some people it doesn't. And you know, like we have different abilities and we have different ways of being, we have different skin colors, we have different hairs, we have different nails, but all of that happened without our doing. It's the intervention that causes problems. So we like it's actually the opposite of being our own doctor. It's more like we have to stop being our own pain, if that makes sense. Like when we think bad things about ourselves and others, then we cause sickness and illness, imbalance in our system. So if, and unfortunately right now the system that we live in is causing health issues, it's causing mental health issues, it's causing physical health issues. So it's not just our own doing, it's like the way we were raised, the way we were raised to breathe in itself is causing us damage. The way we were raised to eat is damaging us. The way that the cars are, the way that the Wi-Fi, without which I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now, but still, like all of these things are causing imbalances in our bodies. So on the long term, we really need to start also creating the new earth, a different environment for ourselves in which we can actually flourish, and that is not constantly harming us. But also on a personal level, we really just have to trust, let go of the worry, of the fear, of the anger, of the resentment, of the jealousy, of all the things, so that we can come back into our natural flow, if that makes sense.